Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the studio. We're here with Ty, the real estate guy. He's a new home construction expert. You've been in the business for 20 years.
Yeah.
Ty, so good to have you here.
Thank you.
How did you get started in this business?
Oh, man, that is a good question. I started in the new home construction industry.
Yeah.
I was in it for about 15 and a half years.
Wow.
Working for different home builders. I actually worked for 6 different home builders.
Holy
not
cow.
always by choice.
Yeah.
One builder I was working for got bought out by a big national builder. I love the new home construction process. It's very intriguing to me, and I love guiding people through the process, and I love seeing the reward, of them receiving keys to their brand new house that they built, that they designed.
Oh, yeah.
That's so amazing. But truth be told, I got sick of listening to the builder. And as representative of the builder, it's my fiduciary duty to do what the builder says.
Yep.
And there were multiple times, especially as my career started going on, where I was like, I'm not going to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's not worth it for me. And builders make decisions that you're not always going to agree with, and I have to back the builder up.
Sure.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it just got to the point, I was working for a builder that I really loved, Candlelight Homes. They're coming back, by the way. That's cool.
Love that. Yeah.
And they got bought out by a large national builder. I won't mention Lennar's name. Very quickly did I realize their culture wasn't my culture. They broke promises to my clients, made them go back to the design center and pick stuff because they were trying to simplify the process.
Sure.
Even though our design center still carried all that product. So when I put up a fight about it, it ended up being a fight.
Yeah.
And so I definitely walked away from some dollar bills there.
Sure.
But I decided I'm done working for the builder. I want to work for the buyer. I want to guide people through the home build process because I love it. It's so fun, but now I can help people avoid a lot of those situations.
Says a lot about your character.
Well, thanks.
I think that's integritous, and I love that. And that's rare to find nowadays. Yeah. And that's why people trust you. And as you started building your YouTube channels, we can see right here on the screen, 27.3 thousand plus subscribers.
Thank you.
The proof's in the pudding. The numbers speak for themselves. People trust you. And you have become a new home construction expert. And you have videos that have over 300,000 views teaching people step by step. It took you 2.5 months to create that hour-long video.
Right.
So you put a lot of time and effort into educating people in the process. And a lot of people are wondering, Ty, right now, they're waiting for rates to drop. I'm a mortgage loan originator, obviously, with Osmond Home Loans. Is now a good time for people to buy, or should they wait?
For some people, it's definitely the right time to buy, and for some people, it's not. Talk to a lender, call Nathan Osmond.
Hello.
Get pre-qualified. If you're comfortable with that house payment, I would probably say it's a good time for you to buy a house. We've seen home prices continue to go up, even though rates continue to go up. We're +7 now.
Yeah.
And so I know you're frustrated and scared and angry, and with things that are currently happening in our government, and I'm not trying to be political, but with the things that are currently happening, all the money being spent, we don't know what the market's going to do. We really don't.
Yeah.
But I do know this. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Millions of people waiting to buy a house. Sitting on the sideline, they're waiting to buy a house.
Absolutely.
And they're waiting for what?
They're waiting for rates to come down.
Yeah.
Barbara Corcoran, who I've worked with on Shark Tank, she's been saying something big time.
Yeah.
If interest rates do come down to say even in the 5s, what's that going to do to the market?
We know that buyers are going to flood the market.
It's a reverse market crash.
Right. Buyers are going to flood the market and home prices will go up. I want you to ask yourself this question because I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Sure.
Would you rather buy a house now and pay less for the house but have a higher rate with the ability to refinance when rates drop? Or would you rather buy a house in a crazy, frantic market where you're having to outbid the next guy and you're missing out on house after house after house? Home prices are going up, 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 up. And you could have bought the house and just refinanced that rate before all the craziness. I don't want to buy a house in that market that we saw a couple years ago. I don't even like selling houses as a real estate agent in that market.
Yeah.
It is painful to watch people miss out on house after house and be like, okay, fine, we're just going to put $100,000 over and get this house. And you're like, ugh.
That's why Dave Ramsey recently said, now is the best time in the next 5 years to buy a home.
Right.
Now, he's Mr. Conservative. Why would he tell us that?
He's the most conservative person that we know.
Yeah.
And that's because he knows what's going to happen. He's trying to help you buy a house at the best possible timing. You can ask anybody who's been in real estate for a long time, or even someone who's owned real estate for a long time. The best time to buy real estate was always yesterday or last week or last year or 5 years ago. Home prices have always gone up over time. There might be a dip, there might be a correction at some point, whatever it is. But if you're comfortable with the house payment, that's okay. And guess what? When you buy a house, you have 30 years to pay it off. It's a 30-year payment. So the sooner you buy a house, the sooner the 30-year ends, and the sooner you're rent-free for the rest of your life.
That's right.
Besides taxes
That's
and insurance.
Right. Well, he says, don't not buy the house. This is Dave Ramsey talking. He says, buy the house, and if interest rates go down, refinance,
Right.
close quote. And that's the point, is he's teaching you how to be conservative, because
Yeah.
the last thing you want to do is have to buy a much more expensive home than you needed
Right.
to buy. So you talked about this earlier, the biggest hedge against inflation is a 30-year fixed mortgage.
Yeah, right.
Lock in the rates,
Yeah.
right? And then if they do come down, refinance.
Well, rent always increases over time too.
And they say that the average homeowner is about 36% richer than the average renter. Now, as a new home construction expert, do you feel that it's a good time to build, or should people be looking for an existing home?
Right now, it's the perfect time to build. Because of what happened during COVID and a lot of builders jacking their prices up later on people, most builders now have a clause in the contract where it's that once you make all your selections, the price is locked. So you can lock the price of your house today.
Yeah.
And then 8 months or 12 months later, or whatever it is, when the house is completed,
Yeah.
rates will probably have started to fall by then. And so you can get a lower rate,
A float down?
not even a float down, because
Okay.
you don't close on the house till it's completed. Where are rates going to be 12 months from now? I think most people think rates will be lower. So you can
Yeah.
lock the price today.
Yep.
8 to 12 months later, rates will probably be lower.
We were promised by the feds early this year that they would drop them 6 times.
Right.
We're probably not going to see a drop for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
But eventually they will come down again.
They will.
And when they do, you can go ahead and refinance.
We don't know what rates are going to do. We could see a drop or two this year.
We could.
We don't know. You want to make sure you can afford the house today, today's payment.
Yep.
And if you can, and you're comfortable with that payment, you should buy a house now. If it's pushing you, don't.
Great advice.
Like,
right
don't get
there.
yourself in a bad situation.
And don't ever buy on speculation. Run the numbers with
Right.
your lender, with your realtor, and if you can afford it, like Ty said, if now's the right time to buy for you and your family, if the numbers say yes, do it. Now, are builders nervous or feeling desperate right now?
I wouldn't say desperate,
Okay.
but I would say definitely feeling nervous. How do we know that?
Yeah.
They're offering crazy incentives. I mean, $30,000 for upgrades at the design center, or price reductions, or rate buy downs, or different things like that they're doing to get you to come in. And that's why it's important to have a real estate agent, especially
Yes.
someone like me who specializes in new home construction, because some of those incentives aren't that great.
Yeah.
They might say, like, we're offering a 4.25 rate.
Okay.
And so you're like all excited and you go down there. Truth of the matter is it's probably going to step up after 1 year and then up again after that. And you're going to end up with a rate that might be higher than what rates would be 3 years from now. Always take the builder's quote and an outside quote. And most builders, 45 days before closing, decide, I'm going to go with Nathan because his deal's better than what the builder's lender is offering me.
If you are buying the home, I would recommend that you work with a separate realtor than the builder's realtor,
Yeah.
because there is a conflict there.
Yeah, just like we talked about
Yep,
when I was
it's-
working
it's
for
a
the
conflict.
builder.
Yep.
I don't have the ability to represent you if I'm the builder's agent. I can be a great guy, I mean, an honest guy.
That's it,
I can
yeah.
love people, I can have every desire in my heart to give you the best experience and
Your
to love you.
fiduciary duty at the end of the day is to the...
I have to do what the builder says.
If you're looking to buy from a builder, get your own representation.
You want to get a new home construction expert, someone who knows the builders that can guide you through that process, because, I mean, I've been in houses with superintendents on final walkthroughs,
Oh.
and my clients are like, that looks kind of like shoddy, and they'll be like, oh, that's normal, and I'd be like, bro,
Yeah.
that's not normal.
That's not normal.
You got to fix that.
I love
and
that.
they have fixed it because I know.
Yeah.
I know it's normal. I know it's not normal.
With all your
right?
years and background working with builders, I love that you've not only become the expert that you are, but you share it on your YouTube
Yeah.
channel, which you should definitely go and subscribe to at
you.
Ty Wilde, or look up Ty the Real Estate Guy, and you're going to love this channel. You can learn so much. But are there builders that you would recommend, or are they all pretty much the same?
My clients seem to have a better experience when they're working with a local builder who allows them to make some changes. Because people want to build a custom home, you're going to be paying way higher premium.
Yeah.
And so to build a house with a track builder, the Lennar Homes and KB Homes and Richmond and DR, they don't give you very many options.
Sure.
You can find a semi-custom home builder that's a local builder that actually cares about you and your family and wants you to have the house that you want, and they're willing to make structural changes to the home so it fits your lifestyle, your family's lifestyle.
I love that you know all these builders, and you know the pros and the cons. Because that's an important thing. When you're working with your realtor, you want to make sure that your realtor knows this stuff,
Right.
that they have a relationship with builders, and it's just a matter of educating. So make sure that your realtor knows their stuff, just like Ty does. And you learn that by being in the trenches with these builders, which I love.
Well, I've even been in trenches with a lot of the salespeople that are still working for these builders. A lot of my dear friends from 20 years years ago when I first started at Fieldstone Homes. They're still there in the trenches. One of my best friends of all time is still working for a builder, and I can call him up and be like, hey, if I bring a client down, let's throw out all the negotiation stuff. What's the best you can do? And I don't have to go through the whole well, would you do this? Will you do that? He's just going to tell me the best I can offer.
Having a guy like you on the team is invaluable. Do you have any builders that stand out to you, that some of your favorites that you were able to mention?
Here in Utah, two semi-custom home builders I really like is Edge Homes and Arrive Homes. And Arrive's a little bit smaller. They remind me of Candlelight Homes when I was there years ago. But Candlelight became this big, huge builder that was bought out by Lennar Homes. Because they grew themselves so big and built such a good reputation. And that's kind of how I view Arrive Homes.
Are there any builders that deserve to be better known?
I actually just spent 2 weeks, no joke, on 2 videos. One called The Best Builders in Utah, one called The Worst Builders in Utah.
Oh, wow.
They're both live on my channel, just barely put on there.
Wow.
And so I'd recommend going there and watching those videos.
Those videos.
I've been wanting to do those videos for a long time, but I hate to call people out good or bad, but I just decided, you know what?
Absolutely.
I'm just going to do it. I hope, there's no hurt feelings.
You have to be honest with people in this business. It's our fiduciary duty to be able to represent our clients in the best light possible.
Right.
And the more you know, it's kind of like those after school, the more you know. Remember those little videos? The more you know as you're getting into this home building, business here. There's a lot that goes into it.
For sure.
And they don't teach us this in school. So you have to go to Ty's YouTube channel to learn this stuff.
This is your school.
That's right. Or come to Osmond Home Loans here, and we feature great guys like yourself. So what builders should we avoid?
Let's talk facts.
Let's just talk facts.
The builders that have the worst reviews online, and the builders that my clients have had bad experiences with.
Okay.
Or maybe not even bad experiences, but they didn't have a great experience.
Yeah.
Like when I go with these semi-custom builders, the local builders, they usually have a great experience. But the builders you want to avoid are the ones that have those bad reviews online. And in general, those are the large national builders.
They are.
Now, it's not always the case. I've helped my clients build with most of the large national builders here.
Sure.
And it's been just fine, but I think you have to realize your risk level goes up a bit when you're going with the large national builders, because honestly, you are not their first priority. I mean, it's just that simple. I'm not trying to be mean. Their first priority is to their investors. It actually has to be. Their first priority has to be to their investors.
That sometimes when you work with these big national, brokers and things, things get lost in the mix. And that's what I like about working with Security Home Mortgage and Osmond Home Loans is that we're all in-house. We don't outsource your loan.
Right. If you build with a builder who does 200 transactions a year, they're going to know your name when it comes through the system. But if you work for a builder like, the largest national builder is D.R. Horton, you're a number. It's hard to get a builder to delay the closing, a large national builder, because your mother passed away or whatever, right? Where a local builder would be like, yes, we understand that. In almost every situation, I've seen the local builders be more.
It's nice to know that the person you're working with knows your situation. They know who you are. You get the face time that you feel you're worthy of, especially when you're spending as much as you are to build a home. So the key is have somebody that represents you like a Ty Wilde here, Ty the real estate guy, that can really watch out for you. Whoever your realtor is, make sure they know their stuff and do your research. I got one more question for you.
Okay.
So if I want to build a house, what are the steps I need to take?
First thing first, you're going to call your local lender in Utah. That's Nathan Osmond.
Thank you very much.
Give him a call. Find out how much home you can afford and what your monthly payment will be. The biggest mistake I made when I looked for my first house is looking at houses that I couldn't afford. So it was really hard for us, my wife and I, to go look at smaller homes. That was hard. Step number 2 is just call me. Call your local real estate agent in Utah, that's me, and we're going to guide you through the process, through the rest of the process. And the most important step after that is finding the right builder. And you pick the wrong one, you will regret it.
You will.
And I've seen it a lot. I already know if someone says, I'm thinking about this builder, I can say all right, cool, let's go take a look at them. But I can also suggest, hey, let's look at these 2 builders also, because you might like them also.
Your lender's going to help you save you some money too. We have different programs for first-time home buyers that need to be new builds. You know, there's a lot of things that you need to know about these programs, and we'll be the ones that can help educate and inform you on on that. But your realtor is going to be your like boots on the ground. They're going to be the one that's out there guiding you through the steps. So make sure they know the builders, they know the perks. There's a lot of bells and whistles that are being offered right now. If people do want to reach out to you, Ty, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Call or text me, whatever's best for you. We'll continue that communication that way.
Or follow him on YouTube. Great channel. He's Utah's #1 realtor on YouTube. Is there any last thing you want to say to him?
Don't get discouraged by what's happening in the market. You know, really make a plan and figure out, okay, if I can't afford a house, what do I need to do? Buy Tesla stock. But not financial advice.
That's right.
But no, make a plan and execute that plan and figure out there's a lot of creative things you can do. You can buy a house with a family member. Figure out some way to get the ball rolling. If you do qualify for a house, you don't have to be like, okay, I qualify, let's go buy a house right now. But start looking because you might find a deal that blows you away. I have found some pretty crazy deals. Builders have what they call like a quick move-in or a spec home, things like that. Sometimes they're just trying to give those away. And I've seen some crazy deals because they can't have that house on their books.
There's opportunity out there right now. So give us a call if you have any questions. You're only as strong as the people that are on your team, and we'd love to work with you. Thanks again, Ty, the real estate guy, for being here.
We'll see ya.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.